This is a video check. This is a video check. Look at these cute bees. Hi there, Marge here from A Rose Grows in Harlem. Slightly different angle today. It is October 18th, and it's a Wednesday, and I wanted to give a progress report. I have not recorded specifically a progress report in quite a while, so there are a lot of changes, but some are good, some are surprising, some are, I kind of missed out on that, but we'll see. But overall, pretty cool. First, we're going to start off with the side garden. We're going to start here with my Mondavia vine. This is something that I purchase every year. I should probably start to propagate it so I don't have to spend a lot of money every year to get it, but against this old fence, it's a beautiful red splash of color that when I turn the corner and look down the line, I see this gorgeous, gorgeous color. I normally have two of them. I put one here and I put one on that one over there, but it died, and I'll get to that later. Over here are mostly weeds, and this is a blueberry plant. That stick figure thing over here is also a blueberry plant that I saved from clearance, and I'm hoping it's just dormant, but it's probably dead. So we'll see what happens. Over here, I don't know that I've actually shown this, but this is my compost bin. I don't know if it has drainage holes at the bottom. Yes, it actually does. Right there. There's one drainage hole. Rubbermaid 100 gallon, I think it says. Yes, 100 gallon. This is something my boyfriend had set up here, and I literally just throw everything in there. I have some crab shells. I have some eggshells that I just throw in there, and you see how well the compost works because things are growing in it. I've had potatoes grow in there. I have had narcissus just pop up because there was a bulb that I didn't realize was either in a container or in a bunch of dirt. But yeah, everything, even my junk mail, I get rid of the plastic parts, but I do shred it and throw it in there, and that makes it in. That is some cardboard. Oh, and you might also see some quail eggs. I make my own pet food, my raw pet food for my cats. And I was trying some quail eggs because I have a cat that's allergic to chicken, but that is a whole nother channel that I don't know if I have time for that. But over here are my strawberries, and they are definitely intertwined. I'm in the way. They're definitely intertwined with weeds, and I believe that might be a potato that was left over. I thought I grabbed all the potatoes, but I don't think I did. This is just local grass that grows that I have to pull up. And these are my onions. I'm so happy they survived because look at how big they are now. Those are going to be great. I was tempted to snip off the tops and use those for cooking, but because these were volunteers, I'm going to utilize the experiment part of my gardening while I can. Hopefully, one of them will come up with a flower and then I can grab seeds. Oh, there is a potato right here. I think this is a potato. The potatoes grow really well here. I got almost an entire box of potatoes from just a few that were sprouting in my pantry. Here, this is where I used to plant my tomatoes. So, is this companion planting or not? Not on purpose. Right now, there are a few oregano plants, and you see some of them there. Obviously, they go on to seed. The beautiful bees loved all of the pollen, so I just let them go to seed. What did I touch that has my hands all orange? Touch something. Oh well. But now I'm getting distracted. Anyway, this is my here is my pumpkin vine. And I thought, oh, look at this little friend. Hello. Can we get any closer? I don't know what you are, but you're pretty. The pumpkin kind of blew up when the colder weather came in, which was interesting. And I've been watching several videos who tell you that you've got all these male flowers that look like this, right? They have the flower part and they've got just this regular piece here. And I was worried because they say you should pinch them so that you get more female flowers. And I just let them go because, again, this is all an experiment. I'm learning what works in my garden. And here is one that I have put up on a trellis. And there are all the male flowers. And then I come along and look through all this. I come up, and where is it? I saw it before. Oh, I had it. Oh, there it is. A female flower. That is the beginning of a pumpkin. And that flower has to come together with a male flower, which are these once they open, and they make pumpkins. I don't know how I'm going to support it once it gets pollinated, but we'll see. And apparently, I have another one over there. Look at how big that one is. That one I think was already pollinated because that's a big one. Look at how beautiful that is. Gorgeous. But yeah. So those are the leaves. That's how big the leaf is, just like my grape leaves. And they're very prickly. I tried to move. Oh, here's one that was in the sun. I was trying to move the vines so that they would actually go around the support system, and they're very spiny. I was getting prickled. Look at that baby. So hopefully I'll get some pumpkins. If I find the actual seed packet, I have them downstairs, so I will get those there. There's some volunteer basil, and the one in the back has already gone to seed, so I'll probably get more basil later. Those other things are just weeds. This was the mandevilla that just died on me for no reason. Here we have my garden beans, which just decided to flower, so that's been interesting. They also appreciate the cooler weather, and that's been cool. Here's my little hummingbird water fountain that I bought these on eBay. I trailed these all the way up and around the trellis. I duct taped it. That's the solar panel. So that's been pretty cool. That's just a cute little fountain there. And then over here, my turmeric, my ginger, and this is what's left of my beautiful zinnias. I may consider taking them indoors so I can overwinter them, or into at least my greenhouse. That did not survive that great. I should have repotted that. I think those are, they're not zinnias. They're, what was this called? I don't know. Salvia. Oh, I did that salvia dirty. So we'll see what happens. More zinnias. The colors really bring the hummingbirds here, but I think they are ready to go on to warmer climates if they haven't already, because we are now getting down to the 40s. Here is my watermelon vine. That's been doing okay. I've had some small watermelons come up there. And I'm trying to train this to go up this trellis. And this watermelon over here is trying to grow, but I think something bit it, and it's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Something bit into it, so it's a little misshapen, but that's okay. Oh, it would be nice if I actually showed this in a way that you could see it. Yeah, see right there? Something bit into it. I don't know what, but it's beautiful. It's my first watermelon ever. So I figured I'd let that grow. If I cut that one off, I know that it would give energy to all the other ones that are trying to grow, like this little one over here. And I don't know if it's supposed to put off several different watermelon, because that seems to be the only one that's growing right now. All the other ones are tiny. There are some over here. Yeah, see? Tiny little watermelon. But we'll see. This right here is the cucumber vine that never did anything. This particular one went up and around over there. I tried to let this one grow, but what happened to it? It's too humid. Way too humid. It's trying, but I think it's just getting moldy. See? It got cold too fast. Even though our last frost is November 2nd, it's still, I think, too cold for cucumbers. But I figured I would try it anyway. Here are the peas. I'm trying very carefully to touch them gingerly. These are also growing weird. Look, there's like one misshapen pea in there. That's kind of gross. But I'm trying to get it to climb up the trellis. That one kind of did. But I shouldn't be using the fruit to grow up the vine. I don't know why it's not sticking. I think these are too slippery. The watermelon like it, but the peas don't care. I'm just going to put it like that. And it's funny because right now I am editing a video about how I put these oyas in the ground. I'm going to carefully touch this because look at the slugs, gross. But those are the oyas, and that's how they're in the ground. But if you see next to it, those are fungus. Those are mushrooms. There's some kind of, I'll put them on the screen, some kind of stinky mushrooms, and they just smell like really, really strong, funky mushrooms. And they're like phallus something. They make eggs that look like that, and then they come up to this gross looking, very phallic shaped mushroom, and then that black part oozes out, and it's gross. And some of the other ones are over here. So what I've learned is that I should just continue to water by hand when it's required, because if you offer too much water here, there is not enough breeze and there is not enough sun to dry this out after a certain time of year. Yeah, the marigold is still growing strong. The marigolds, I think, kept some of the moths off some of the other plants once they were this size. They kind of attracted the pests, and unfortunately, I didn't have them mature enough at the right time. So I will have to think about that when I plant my next set of things. I will have to make sure that the marigolds start strong and they have a good amount of light and whatever they need so that they can be strong and ready to go. I might also consider putting them in separate containers like these because these get huge. And I'll show you the ones in the front yard to see how big they get. I love it because it takes up the space that I need it to. Like, you see how big this one got? Beautiful. And that's the watermelon running around. And those are, what did I was planted here? Oh, the cucumber just fell over because it doesn't like that. Oh, I forgot what I put here. And I don't know where the tag is. But it was pink flowers over here, purple flowers here, pink and purple. And I think I'm going to leave that entire space to whatever I've planted there. Over here, this is where I have my cone flowers. I've planted some echinacea as well. And through the spider webs over here, I have some walking onions that just keep going, which is pretty cool. And I moved one of the hummingbird feeders because I wanted them to stop fighting. They weren't frantic, but they were definitely fighting, and I think they're gone now, but we'll see. And I will go over to the lemon plant next. Okay, so here's my lemon tree, which is doing fairly well. I think it's starting to get way too cold for it. So I will prep the greenhouse and start throwing things in there. Here's some extra zinnias because they were on sale on the clearance rack. And from here you can see that's the barrel that I got for making a rain barrel, and then it didn't rain for a while. But that's my pumpkin plant. And let's see, for right now, here are my bay leaves and the brother pineapple guava plant. I will probably put those into pots this weekend. I have a lot of work to do this weekend. That's what I say every weekend. And these beautiful pansies were on sale. So I got a good color variety. And they are four to a container. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 32 pansy plants. And I'll probably mix and match and put them all in the back. I just want that pop of color, and I think these go on until, let's see if I can wipe that off. Yeah, I don't know how long they go till, but I mean, they're still out here, and they're bright even though it's 40s in the morning and at night. Let me show you the marigolds in the front. These are my marigolds, which the moths, the butterflies, the bees, they love. These are all from seed. And bees adore them. Look at this little bee doing his thing or her thing. Are you sleeping? Are you waking up? They love it. They're all over the place, but they're so good. You brush against them and it smells wonderful. These are my dahlias, which probably are in need of water and a top-up of dirt. This one is trying so hard. Beautiful. And this is the fountain that I will eventually fill. I need to zoom. I'll fill with water, and using the fountain pump that I had in the cat container, I will fill this up, level this off so that when the water falls down, it'll fall back into the bucket, and then the pump will come up and pull it again. And I got this because I could from Lowe's, but I have to see how far that spurts water, so we'll see. Here are some of my hibiscus flowers. That's a red hibiscus. That's a swan queen gardenia. That's a pink camellia, which I don't think it appreciates the full sun. You see how pale the green is? I don't think it likes it over here. I might move that to the backyard. That's another swan queen and another red hibiscus. And let's see if I could do this without grabbing a spider web. There are so many spiders here, but these flowers are gorgeous. I think I showed a picture before. And that's one of the new fire nandina plants that I just purchased because they were also on the clearance rack. And now let's go to the backyard. Backyard, here we go. Oh, the birds are out. Everybody's out because I put food out. Everybody's excited about the food. All right, the birds everywhere. Okay, hopefully the spiders are all gone. I had to get rid of quite a few spiders. Here is my beautiful Granny Smith apple tree. Again, lots of work to do this weekend because I am going to leave it. This is where I pruned it in the spring or in the winter time when I got it. And I am going to slice a bit from here to here, right under the leaf node, and I'm going to try to make this an air layer so I can make a brand new Granny Smith tree. And given the growth, I mean, this is the growth in one season, not even a whole year. From there, that was a little tiny node right here, and it grew all the way up here. I would say that's probably, this is a foot, let's say that's a foot, maybe 3 feet it grew by itself. So that could be its very own tree. And if that keeps growing, I can make a new tree, and then a new tree, and then a new tree, and so on and so forth. So that is my Granny Smith. Here are the other 2 fire nandina that I had rescued from Lowe's. They will go probably somewhere along the fence. Either that or I'll use it to open my entrance to the greenhouse. This is some white lantana. It's a gorgeous color. I think it'll do better in one of the bigger barrels, but I have to double check. I don't know that that is draining well, so I will see. Here are my blueberry plants. This one seems like it's already checked out. Here are my strawberry plants, and interspersed there are cone flowers of different kinds. I'm going to put all of those along this wall so that when the summer comes, that entire wall is going to be a bright color, and that will help with the color of the backyard. Those are the marigolds. Here we have the marigolds that I pulled from the pear trees, no, the plum trees, because it felt like they were taking up all of the nutrients. And those seem to be doing well. That right now is kind of the only color in the garden when I look out the window. Unfortunately, I don't have enough flowers, but we're changing that. These are my cherry trees. Still looking good. Here is my gold medal rose, and I will definitely trim this back next year so that it can have, you see how these have branched off? I can actually make additional rose plants from here, and it's just like air layering, except I'm probably just going to snip that, give it some rooting hormone, and just put it in some dirt. And I can actually make two more. These end up as really bright yellow blooms, but then they fade, probably because I need to give it more food or something. But they're gorgeous, and there are 3 right now that are on there. And there were more, as you see. And what I'll end up doing is I will cut them like that so that more grow from the stem. And I'll probably straighten it out a bit because it is leaning a little, but we'll bush it out, and that'll be beautiful next year. But I won't do that until the spring, so that'll, you chop it all off, and then all this growth will come up. I mean, look at how much it grew. This was almost just this dried out spot, and the rest grew this year. Those are the rest of my strawberries. I have a white hibiscus over there, and you could see one is trying to bloom. Beautiful. When that opens up fully, and there are more buds here, when that opens up fully, it's got a beautiful red center and white blooms. It is absolutely gorgeous. And there was a bee, I think, in there. Sorry, bee. Those are the strawberries. I'm still trying to decide if I'm going to keep them in there or if I should put them in a bigger planter. We'll see. I'm going to take my pitchfork and get all of this garbage and put it in my designated compost bin, which is going to be over there along that fence. And I don't know if you can see it, but there are definitely spider webs. I was out here this morning with my Dawn dish soap and water mixture trying to get rid of these Joros. There was one over here. I don't know if it's picking up the crazy glistening of the web. And there was one big one over there. You see the web? I move like that, you see the web that's there? Yeah, it's on my poor service berry. So what I'm going to do is I have to go through a list of every one of my plants. I don't know if I'll do this on camera because it's going to be a little boring because I'm documenting this. I might do it anyway because, again, this is not your typical YouTube channel. This is me documenting everything that I'm trying to do to get this food forest to go. And part of that is the hard work, like weeding or making lists of to-dos or making a list of everything that has some kind of frost, resistance or tolerance, and making sure I'm not leaving anything behind, because this greenhouse was set up, and of course I've got mosquitoes biting me. This greenhouse was set up so that I could throw all of my, cold, what are they called? Cold sensitive plants in there and just put them all together and just try to insulate it somehow. I'm gonna gingerly walk around here. Okay, so that was the rose, yellow rose, my cherry trees. Over there, I believe, is some lemon balm that I have in that container there. Trying to do some companion planting so that we're bringing the good insects here that eat the bad ones. Ow, and I think these mosquitoes are biting me through my clothing. I didn't want to put on insect repellent, so that's on me. Here are my apple trees and crabapple trees. There is some woolly aphids on there, but I'll see if I can get to those later. Over here is one of my very, very pretty elderberries. This is probably the best one out of all of them. It's growing crazily and well. I don't know if I'm going to keep it here because it's doing so well or if I'm going to move it off to the side of the fence. Well, we shall see. This is as close as I'm going to get to the serviceberry. I'll zoom in. That looks like it's getting ready to go to sleep and go dormant. I think it prefers the hotter weather, but we'll see. Yes, I think I see the tips. Let me see if I can get close enough without getting into this web. I think the tips are starting to go dormant, but we'll see. Those are my grape leaves. That's as close as I'm going to get to the grape leaves until I can clean the spider webs. They are also sleeping, which is good because that means I can then clear up all of this nonsense, the weeds and the tree branches that are too low. The only tree that's in our garden is this. This is our Japanese maple, and that's the only one that should be here. All this other nonsense has got to go. So I'm going to delete that. Delete the branches. Okay. Over here, we have my pawpaw tree, which surprisingly did not make it. I might have burned it with too much, what's the word? Fertilizer. So, oh, and I just walked through a spider web. That's awesome. Oh, God. Oh, yeah, I see the spider right there. Fantastic. Oh, I gotta get him. Great. Okay, so anyway, I thought I got rid of the spider webs, but I didn't, so I'm going to be a little more careful. But anyway, that is my apricot. That is my pawpaw, which I think I burned. We'll see how that does next season. And this is my unnamed apple tree, which, despite all the odds, is doing very well. Over here is my other pineapple guava. Pineapple guava. I just like saying that. And that's nice and strong. I did not prune this one because I wanted to see how it was going to do on its own, and I think it's great. I'm going to plant another one perhaps here. I put a lantana plant there so that I've got some pollinator food, and we'll see how that works. Let's see, where else can I go? I guess I'm trying not to get the spider webs. I cleared this area, but I still see spider webs. This is my store-bought blackberry, and that is trellising nicely on this cute little trellis that I got from Ace Hardware. I might go back and see if they've got any more on sale. That container, I don't know if I went over. I think I did. It's basically, I left birdseed outside by mistake, and it just started to sprout. So I just kept it over there, and I threw it into that container, and now the birds can eat it, the squirrels can eat it. That is a free-for-all, helping with that permaculture life. Over there is my pecan or pecan There's a whole fight going on the internet for that right now. Over there is my walnut tree doing its own thing. Next season, I will be getting another tree to companion plant that because you can't get walnuts unless you've got more than one. Look at my pride and joy, my olives. These are doing very well. I'm not going to go in there because there are definitely spider webs in there, but it loves the balmy, kind of dry soil, but humid conditions. So if that's Mediterranean, then that's probably it's thriving. And I will separate all four of those, and I will make separate olive trees. But they are doing really, really well. And I'm so excited because I love olives. That over there is another elderberry. This over here is my nectarine. And that is the nectarine that is growing from the root stock, not from what's grafted to it. So that is also an experiment, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm going to go back around this way to avoid those spider webs that I thought I got. Here are my plums, and I think those also went dormant. I'm also just getting over a cold, so I apologize for my sniffling. I've tested negative so far for COVID, so thank goodness for that. Here is my, oh, I have to weed the heck out of this. This is my blackberry seed from bare root. And all of these weeds are taking advantage of the fertilizer that's in here. I won't have any of that. Okay, so that's the blackberry. That's probably burned a little. Oof. But it's hanging in there, so I think I just need to repot it and it'll be all right. This is my hummingbird station, which the birds like to poop on. I don't know, not the hummingbirds, obviously, the poop is way too big, but the other birds. Here is my other clump of apple trees. I think this one here and that one over there, I will be making additional apple trees from. I will do the air layering with a smaller container on that. And these are this is my Arkansas black, or sorry, Arkansas black. And that other one, I don't know, there's a lot of stuff in there. I am not going to go in there and find out. Oof, can I go around here and is that okay? Oh boy. Gala, or Gala. The Gala apple tree and the Arkansas black. Those two are doing well in this environment. Oh, that's another lantana that actually likes the grow bag, so I might do more lantana in there because that's the first one that's actually flowered since I put it in the ground. The other ones I think need more compost or a better way to react to the transplant shock. That's my nectarine from a different angle. That is the other elderberry that I was showing before. Trigger warning, these spiders, so if you don't like spiders, I'm not moving this one yet, but he's dead, or she's dead, so just trigger warning before I show it. So these are my pears, and so far they seem to have survived. I believe this pear right here, I am going to make into another pear tree. They're actually all doing really well, and if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I could probably get another 4 pear trees. But if you want to see what a Joro looks like, here's a dead one. I could zoom in on it. Oof, gross. Oh, it doesn't want to zoom in on it. That's probably for the best. But that's what they do. They make webs in the middle of my trees. So they could do it on the fence. If they're in the higher up trees, I leave them alone. If they're in a place where they're not going to bother me, I leave them alone. But they're invasive, so unfortunately they have to go. Here is my kiwi plant, which I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's been burned by the fertilizer, if it's not, if it's going dormant. There's plenty of water. Plenty of water. It's definitely wet, so, and I've not had to water these for a long time. So that should be okay. But I think it might just be going dormant because that's kind of how I received it, is like this. These little buds. So I think it's just going to sleep because it's getting too cold. There's some more lemon balm. When you go like that with your fingers, it smells fantastic. I thought I planted something here. Oh, a marigold. That's trying to come back because that gold glow rose did not make it. But I'll probably put the other rose in there. Here are the wildflower seeds, and I guess because the cold is back, we're getting some of my bulbs. All of these straight leaves, those are all from my bulb plants. So I have narcissus in there. I have probably some tulips and some other things. I'll see if I can link back my my video when I put that up. Here are my peaches. And here's another fuzzy critter. I think I saw this baby on either Reading Rainbow or Sesame Street when I was little. But they're supposed to tell you when, oh, please zoom right. But based on their fuzz, they're supposed to be able to tell you when or how long the winter is going to be. There we go. Look at that fuzzy baby. So cute. So we'll see. This is another lantana, and I did this very quickly because I had to go on a trip, and unfortunately I did not do the best with it, so I'll have to add some more compost. This poor elderberry, something ate it. I mean, it's got holes all over the place. I don't know what happened to it, but I gotta find a better place for it because the other ones are thriving. You've got that one over there is thriving, and then the one over there that's really big, I think it just needs more sun. So I'll have to readjust some of these things because some things like sun, some things don't. There's another rose over there that's doing okay. And I showed you my pears. And yeah, that's that's the garden. It's doing well. Now, the one thing that I am truly enjoying is that the cold weather is helping with the amount of weeds. I don't have to weed as much. Things are not growing as quickly. One thing that it is bringing, though, are the spiders, and the mosquitoes are still out. But it's fun to see all the, oh, there's a woodpecker. It's fun to see all the different birds that are coming out because they're trying to get ready for the winter. The hummingbirds were all over the place, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, the spiders I can do without. But because I'm trying to stay organic and keep to permaculture, I'm not using anything by my edibles. Um, all the fruit trees, if there are any spiders there, I either, if it's way too close to something that I think is too delicate for dish soap and water, I just end up, taking a branch and trying to move the spider someplace else in the garden. Um, Otherwise, they will come back. So sometimes you just have to kill them, and I hate doing that. But they are invasive here, so there are absolutely no lack of these Joro spiders. But next things to do are to prepare my seedlings. I got some, what are they called? The photo or the card organizers that I see everybody has. They're kind of like one big container and then a bunch of rainbow containers inside. And I bought two of them. So one I can use to just gather groups of seeds. So like I have a bunch of marigolds, I have a bunch of leafy greens, I have, so on and so forth, and I can categorize them that way. And then the other one I want to do by month so that this way I can say, okay, so here are all the things that can go in this month. And I'm not sure if I'm going to do it actually with seed packets. What I might do is if I have any spent seed packets, I might just, for a fun little project, I might just put those in there so that I have an idea of like what do the colors look like, what are the growing conditions, and all the different types of things. Because you can have marigolds, right? You can plant those all year, at least in my area. I'm 7B, and it's it's interesting what you can start indoors or even outdoors in this environment, even when it's cold outside. Like marigolds, they don't care about 40 degrees. I think once it starts dipping into the 30s and once it starts freezing, then they're going to care. But they grew. I mean, it was kind of slow growing, but they got big. They got really, really, really big, and that was cool. But yeah, the rest is just preparing for next year. I want to get all the types of trees that I have, which ones have to be brought into the greenhouse to keep warm for the winter, which ones can stay out. Things like apples can stay out, the pears, all of the big fruit trees are fine, like the elderberries, the even the blueberries, like they're okay if they have some cold hours. Some of them actually need frost hours, like the apples need cold hours, right? But things like my lemon balm, I think, are annual. Things like some of the lantana, like I think the mounding lantana is actually, it doesn't have the ground warmth. So I'm going to have to put that into the greenhouse. But it's okay because anything that's in a container or that's in a bag, I can just pick up and throw over there. Obviously, the citrus trees, things like my kiwis, my lemon and lime cocktail tree, um, the strawberries, I'm not sure. They might need to go into the greenhouse because they're in smaller containers, but if I put them all together to keep the warmth or put them around another plant, like all six of them around another plant, that might work. Um, but there are so many things that can be done. I have strawberries here, I have strawberries out there. Those are on the raised bed, those aren't obviously going anywhere. And yeah, it's just time for reflection, see what went well, see what didn't, get my seeds sorted, and then I'm trying to figure out when would the wrap-up video be going out. Oh, and then I also want to show you the stuff that's inside my indoor greenhouse. So we'll do that first. All right, so I almost forgot about my indoor greenhouse and all the things that I'm doing here. So these poor poor cuttings that I did of my blueberries, I really need to get some rooting hormone in there. And I mean, I've just been so negligent. I don't even know what that is. It's just gross. But I'm gonna have to do something and actually get these in so I can have more plants. Because then so see so they don't turn out into these poor dead branches, okay? Remember when I told you that it takes like a month for these seeds to come up? These are my avocado seeds, okay? And look at this one. This one came up really nicely. It's gorgeous. It's got multiple. It's got two different plants in there, even though it's just one seed. Oh, you can't even see that. See that? And look at this. So pretty. I love it. And here's my other avocado seedling. And that just came up, I think, a week or two ago. You see how fast that's growing? Very nicely. These don't look like they're doing anything. They might be dead, but we'll see what happens. Here are my succulents. I watered them before I left on my trip. This one I'm gonna have to break off, and I normally break it off here, like where the, where it stops from the death, and then I take this plant out and then I just plant that part. These probably need some more water. I'll water those later today. Here are the, what did I call these? Colanchos. See, if I try to pull, they're not coming out. So that definitely has different different roots. But I'm bad because I still didn't put anything to drain. So I really need to just quickly make holes the next time I plug in my soldering iron. Here are the other ones that probably need some food because they're starting to turn red. Oh boy, what did I do here? What did I touch? Oh, I'm all over the place. I'm touching things that have, I'm trying not to contaminate the stuff in here. But these probably need to eat. If they have too much light, I think they said they turn red like that. So I don't know. I'll have to see what I want to do with them. I'm still trying to determine if I want to put them outside at all. It's getting cold, and I don't think they're going to survive the cold. So I'll keep them in here probably. Here are my pothos plants. Now, I was upset because I used to have pothos in my old house. If you watch my videos from over 10 years ago, you'll see that I definitely had pothos everywhere. And I was upset that I had to buy them again because I left all those plants in New York and I shouldn't have. I should have packed them away with all the stuff that I brought, but I didn't. And so I went to Lowe's and I bought some more pothos, and I was pissed because it was $15 for a pot of pothos, and I was so mad because you should never buy pothos. You find a friend who has one and they give you one. But anyway, I took it apart because I realized there were more than the three plants I thought were originally in there. I think I got like 10. I got a lot of plants. I think I got like 5 good big plants out of them. So yeah, definitely worth the $15 because they came out to like, even with the little ones, like this little tiny thing, it came out to like $1 a plant. Like I got so many plants, so it's okay. And I set up this little fan to stop the because I was getting fungus gnats and there were nasty things growing and it was starting to get moldy, and I was like, no, I really should have some air circulation in here, so that I can deal with. And this, all of this metal stuff, I mean, it's just insulation. It's just bubble wrap with like a metallic reflective. That has been so great. I mean, that's, I think, what helped with these. That's what kept these, going strong. And yeah, when I start my seedlings for this year, I'm hoping with the addition of this, I'm gonna add more lights that I already have. So I'll do 2 lights, kind of like this, per row. I'll have 1 light here, 1 light there. I'll do the same thing for this here, so that 3, it'll be 1, 2, and then 3 rows of lights, and I'll figure out how to do another light bar here, and I'll do the same thing over here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I don't want anything in here unless it's seedlings or plants. Like, I don't want all this storage. I'm going to clean up this area over here. This is a whole bunch of garbage and things that can be either moved or sold or thrown out. And I want to leave this just for my seed trays, which is what it should have been, and not tools and things, which is part of the reason why this whole thing was created over here. And of course, it's all messy, but it's eventually getting to the way that I want it. But yeah. And while I'm at it, I might as well show you a small haul that I did at one of my favorite garden centers. I think I showed you this is the rooting powder that I got when I got my tea, my bay leaves. And I ended up getting cat grass, lots of cat grass, Italian Roma tomatoes. I try to get organics, beef steak, San Marzanos. Now, the tomatoes that I have were all taken from Wild Wonders. There's if you go to your supermarket and you go to the tomato section, they've got the little cherry tomatoes, and there was an organic box called Wild Wonders, and that basically had those kinds of tomatoes in there. So that's why I ended up seed saving. And yeah, so these are all the seeds that I need to put into those containers so that I can organize. And here is what they look like, these containers. See, just a way to organize and do stuff. So yeah. So I think that's enough, but that's it for today. I didn't even go over my indoor plants, which is fine. I'm not going to go through that. But I did want to show an update for mid-October. I can't believe we're already past the midway point. It's almost time for Halloween, which means I have to get some costumes ready. I am a cosplayer and I like to do conventions where I go and I cosplay and do all-out costumes and stuff like that. But again, not for this channel. But I may not be able to record for a while because I'm going to be celebrating Halloween. And anything else? Yeah, no more feeding the plants for the rest of the year. It's all about pruning. Oh, and air layering. That's one of the main things. I'm probably going to have a video just on that to show the air layering because I do want to see what it looks like to, you know, either use a container that you have from home or using a bag or saran wrap there are all types of methods. And I also got the little round containers. Do I have them here? I have them somewhere in the mess that's over there. But basically, the root ball propagators, and it's just two pieces of plastic that you can, fill with dirt. You put it around the section of the branch that you want to air layer, and that will, you wrap it up and you zip tie it, and then in 3 months you come out and there's, some roots growing out of it. So I hope to have that recorded this weekend. I still have to decide which trees I want to do that with. If it turns out to be really easy, I might be doing it with several trees. We'll see. But there's never, I mean, if you're going to prune off the branch anyway, you might as well make it into another tree, right? I mean, who doesn't want more trees? So, but that's it for today, because otherwise I can ramble on and on forever. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a great fall. I'll see you next time.